Yeah, so that cast.
That cast.
I'm
We haven't
that
done
guy.
it in forever. Oh, yeah, I'm that guy.
And I'm SOENJAY.
And I'm Joe Thunder.
It's been a while since we've actually recorded anything, regardless of it being a that cast or anything else like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we both have some seasonal depression because our videos always just drop off around this time of year.
Yeah.
Well, no, they pick up around this time of year and they drop off from like
After Brucemas.
After Brucemas. We're just like, eh. Also, we're adults with jobs.
Yeah.
Gross life stuff.
Well, we don't want to worry about real life, and that is why we're doing a podcast on the interwebs.
Yay.
Because screw real life, who needs that?
So, that guy, I've been playing a lot of games recently.
As you
You've been
do.
playing a couple games recently. One game we share in how much we've been playing it recently, and it's kind of your fault that I got back into it. But, you know.
Oh, did I infect you?
You did. I have some severe rad poisoning, and no amount of rad away can remove it from me.
I'm sorry. Well, see, the thing is, Mike actually bought me Fallout 4 over a year and a half ago when it first came out, but my computer was too stupid to play it, and by that I mean it wasn't good enough, and then I got a new computer, like I picked up all the parts and stuff and I built the beast, and then I was too stupid to not realize that I hadn't actually installed the graphics card properly.
Oh, so that's why you couldn't play it.
So it still wouldn't play every time I launched it. I'd get to the main menu and then I'd try to launch a new game and it would black screen and like the computer would crash. And I was like, why does it hate me? So I tried troubleshooting and looking up online like all these things. And then people are like, oh, you know, black screens happen to me too. You got to play it in borderless windowed mode or whatever. And, you know, change this and that and the other thing. And I'm just like, but why? And then
you found out it's because I'm a derp.
Yeah, well, I would never have found out if the graphics updater didn't mess everything up, because it had an update, and then I wasn't able to play any games. Nothing would work, so I contacted the NVIDIA customer support line, and the guy was like, you know, walking me through stuff, and he was like, you know, this is plugged into that, and he looked at all stuff, and I was just like, oh wait, I should probably have an HDMI cable plugged in here. This is plugged into my computer's integrated graphics card, not the new one. So my 1060's just been sitting here for months doing nothing until I plugged it in about, I don't know, a month and a half ago. And then Fallout kind of consumed my life.
As it does. It's like such a crappy game, really, compared to all the other Fallout and Elder Scrolls games that came out. But it's still fantastic.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I think I like it mostly because of the movement. I feel like the movement is a whole lot better and the gunplay is a whole lot better than any of the previous Fallouts. Mostly in the fact that you can sprint. And the gunplay, like I said, it feels more like an FPS. You don't have to use VATS if you don't want to.
Yeah, they did improve that. They improved the melee gameplay because, as I was telling you before, at least in Fallout 3, I never really tried it in New Vegas, but you just couldn't be a sole melee character. There were just too many points where it's like everybody else has guns. If you're just running around with a sledgehammer and some armor, it's not going to cut it.
Even with power armor?
It was too early game to get power armor.
Oh, okay. So you don't know how it would play out late game, but it was just too difficult early?
Yeah, I just had no skills in guns, and I had no guns and ammo, and I kept dying at the same spot, and I couldn't go back, and I couldn't progress. And because there was bad guys, I couldn't fast travel, so there was just no way out of it, and I was like, nope.
Well, I'll tell you what, the old skill sets and skill trees for the other Fallout games like New Vegas and 3 were really extensive and stuff. The skill tree for 4, I didn't understand. It's probably the most simple skill tree of all of them, and I was just like overthinking it. Because you know how when you start, they're all like, up on the top, you got your special. And then underneath, there's a bunch of grayed out skills. Now, some of them have color, but they're grayed out, and the other ones are completely not there. They're just outlines. So you're supposed to be able to click on the ones that are grayed out with still color, and those are the ones that you can choose. And any normal person would have realized that. But I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's grayed out. I hovered over it, but I didn't think to click on it. I'm just like, why? I guess I have to wait until I, like, get past a certain level and then the next entire row will light up so I can choose those. So for the first like 12 or 13 levels of my character, all I did was level up your special skills.
That's not horrible, though. They come in handy.
It's not horrible. It turned out pretty good. I like the way my character turned out that way, but I just, I was like, oh man, I can't wait until I can level up enough so I can hack things or unlock locks that aren't novice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was such an idiot when I did that.
Yeah, I guess I can't gripe on it too much. The gameplay's good. But the problem with the game overall is the story. Like, nobody really liked the story because it forces you to be this character. Like, when I first played it, your character's running around and everything has to do with finding your son. Mm-hmm. Like, there's times where, like, I try to, like, avoid conversation. There's plenty of times in the main story and a couple quests that branch off the main story where people go, oh, why are you trying to find this guy? And it's like, you could select an option that says, oh, I got my own reasons, leave me alone. And then they go, no, tell me. Then you try the next one where it's like, listen, it's kind of too sensitive. I don't want to talk about it. No, tell me.
And you have to tell them.
You have to tell them, and your character's like, oh, my kid was kidnapped, blah, blah, blah.
And it's then, so out of character for your character who is a drug-crazed melee,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Was there any point where it just surprised you that you'd never thought you'd see this in a Fallout game?
The Pridwin really was incredible when it happened. It's like, holy crap, I can't believe they actually got to something this point.
That was pretty nice.
I can't really think of anything else. I mean, I'm still upset that there's no dual wielding in the game.
That would be sweet.
It doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to be able to hold two pistols or, have a pistol in one hand and like a melee weapon in an offhand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did that in Skyrim. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but they did it.
At least it was there, and there were skills specifically for dual wielding, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, for me, in the Fallout, the only things that like really stood out for me that I never thought I'd see were the ship, the Constitution, I think it's called, that's just lodged on a building, and then that just threw me for a loop, and I totally went along with the robots on that. I was just like, no, screw the Raiders.
Oh, I did too.
And
then I had Piper with me. I don't know, what companion did you have with you?
I don't think I had one, actually.
I had Piper with me, and she's like, we probably shouldn't let the robots play their little game and actually help these humans out. I'm like, shut up, Piper. So do you think you've seen all the companions, or
I think
have you not played that much, as much?
I think I have. I've got two characters. I've got a SOENJAY character, which is just what I would play as, and then I've got Babs' character, who's a melee-oriented character. I know of all of the companions. I know who each one is and what you can do with them, but yeah, why? I
was going to ask who's your favorite companion?
Nick Valentine, hands down.
Yeah.
There is no competition. Nick is the best.
He's got some great lines. When you take him to if he's with you when you go by the USS Constitution, he goes, I don't know what upsets me more, the fact that it's there or the fact that it's still there.
Nice. If I had to pick a second favorite, because I mean it's such a landslide victory for me with Nick, I like Deacon just because he's like, he's got an attitude to him. He's kind of sarcastic. Yeah.
Deacon's cool. I really like Strong. He's really funny. Strong is funny, dude.
He's so annoying. Okay, everything I do, he dislikes, so I just sent him back to my settlement. Okay, and the few times that I'm at my settlement, all I hear in the background is, human look funny, and I'm just like, oh my god, Strong, shut up. So I just sent him to a different settlement so I don't have to hear him anymore.
He's like my main man with Krieg, and Krieg's like a melee character. He kills everyone, and also he's a cannibal. So
of course.
So if you have the cannibal perk with Strong says all these really hilarious things like, careful on fingers and toes, get stuck in teeth. But he can have some pretty funny lines.
I guess it's just not my type of companion, because everything I do, he just doesn't like.
It's such a weird game because there's no middle character, really, when you think about it. Like, Dogmeat's probably the best middle character because he doesn't care.
Yeah, he's the middle character because he doesn't have any affections. Like, there's no perk for him, and it never says Dogmeat liked or disliked that. He's just like, I'm here, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. There's a bad guy over there, I'm gonna go bite him. You could go and, like, save orphans, and Dogmeat would be like, sweet. And then you could go and just, like, massacre everybody in Diamond City, and Dogmeat would be like, sweet.
So, the first time I'm playing Fallout 4, back on my good old PlayStation 4, when the game first came out, I meet Dogmeat, and I go, I'm sorry, Dogmeat, but I'm not bringing you with me. And he's got that cute face. He's like, oh, because I thought companions could die, like in all other freaking Bethesda games. In Fallout 3, there's a freaking perk you can get where if Dogmeat dies, like outside of Vault 101, a new dog will spawn after a couple of days.
Oh, that's
cool. You have to get that perk, and I think it came with DLC.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm not bringing you along, because if you die, I will never be able to play this game again.
I'll never forgive myself. Speaking of other dogs, have you come across, I'm sure you probably have, the random encounter with the guy who sells you a dog?
As a matter of fact, I know about that encounter. I've read about it, but I've never actually met him in my games.
It's not that exciting. I thought it was going to be cool.
I know it's not exciting, but you can still get a different dog if you want.
No, but see, like, you go up to him and you talk to him and you have to pass a speech check in order to actually buy the dog because he doesn't want to sell it to just anybody. Then
if you have Dogmeat with you, he likes you. Yeah, you can either have the speech check, or if you just have Dogmeat with you, he's like, oh, your dog likes you. You can buy a dog if you want.
Yeah. So I bought a dog, and I was like, oh, great, I'm going to have a dog. And then I sent it to Red Rocket, which is my base of operations for my SOENJAY character. And it's just an NPC that lives at your base. You can't take it as a companion. It's just a dog.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Huh.
That's why it was so underwhelming. I can't even give it inventory and make it equip, like, bandanas and other stuff.
And goggles.
And, well, yeah, goggles too. But that made me sad. And
there's a mod that's actually really good for Fallout 4. It's on the Xbox. I just assume any mod that's on the Xbox is going to be on the PC. Mm-hmm. It lets you have Dogmeat and a companion, because Dogmeat was originally supposed to be a separate companion you could have, but Bethesda's just like, we don't want to put that code in. But like, it's literally,
Jerry, will you put this code in? It's like 3 extra lines, Jim. I can't do that. Like,
that's exactly what it's like, because
screw you, Jerry.
First off, if you have Dogmeat with you, Dogmeat doesn't count as like a regular companion, so you could still have the Lone Wanderer perk.
Really?
Yeah, and Dogmeat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you would never get this without the mod, but I had the mod, and I had Dogmeat with me, and I actually had a different DLC companion with me. And we went to Vault 81, was it? The one that's still populated?
Yeah.
I went there, and vanilla, you walk in with a Dogmeat, they go, hey, what about the dog? And overseer's like, oh, they're fine. Or if you have a companion like, oh, what about this person? Like, if the outsider trusts them, we can trust them or whatever.
Right.
However, if you have that mod and both Dogmeat and a companion, the person will say, what about the dog and the person's friend?
Really?
Yeah, like it's not a modded line. It's just it's just right in the game. It's just they didn't put the code in for some reason.
Huh. Interesting.
And the person in the description goes through and explains exactly everything about how Dogmeat's supposed to be like separate. The code specifically says like companion and then dog companion or something for him. And then also he has like less carrying capacity and less DPS. And I think like I could be wrong, but I think they said that the one skill set where, with your companions, where it says like, oh, do more damage and you can't hurt them, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that affects him either.
So you can still shoot him.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect.
And then you just go up and stim pack him and everybody loves you.
Is that just like a universal thing? Like whenever you stim pack Dogmeat, your companions like it?
I would assume like Strong just doesn't have an opinion.
Strong just doesn't care. Probably not X688 either.
Yeah, I would assume maybe you don't get a reaction out of McCready.
Hey, that's a segue. The voice actor for McCready, Matthew Mercer, is also the voice actor for McCree from Overwatch.
Wow.
I know, right?
You mean segue that I did not intend at all. And by the way I'm saying it, it sounds like I did intend it, but I really didn't. So believe what you want.
No, I've got one last thing to say about Fallout before we move on, because we've been talking about Fallout forever. But you know,
20 minutes, but
the icon, well, that's a long time. The iconic Fallout song is The Wanderer.
Yep.
That was in the trailer. So I listen to Diamond City Radio pretty often. Not all the time, but pretty often when I'm just walking from place to place. There's only 37 songs that they play, and I cannot tell you how many times I heard, Way Back Home or Bongo Bongo Bongo. I did not hear The Wanderer until I hit my 56th hour of playtime.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't even listen to the radio, but that's kind of crazy.
1 in 37 chance you'd think you'd hear it, considering I'd heard all the rest of them a million times. But The Wanderer? No, I was just never listening to the radio when Travis decided to play that. And the first time I heard it, I was just like, yes! I was so stupidly happy.
And then afterwards, Travis is like, nobody likes that song. I'm just going to get rid of it.
Yeah, and then I paid Travis a visit.
Just hear like a vinyl smash in the background.
I don't know if this is true, but apparently if Travis dies,
the
kid who does the water takes over.
That is true.
I could never have Travis die, though. He's too amazing.
It doesn't matter if he dies on accident, though.
No, if he died on accident, I'd load a previous save, that guy. That's how Fallout works. You save scum all the time.
Yes, you do.
All right, screw Fallout.
One more thing. One more thing with Fallout, but this is not exactly directly to Fallout. The Silver Shroud.
Yes.
Have you listened to the radio drama?
I have listened to a few of them, yes.
If you go on YouTube, some guy took all of them and put them together.
That's awesome. How long is it?
It's like 25, 30 minutes at most.
That's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny because there's like the awkward pauses where like somebody's reading their line first before they say it kind of thing. But it's a fantastic little story with an amazing plot twist. And I recommend you and you people listening to this podcast go listen to it.
What?
Just Google like Silver Shroud radio play.
I'll have to do that.
So, what are we moving on to now?
Well, I'm gonna talk really briefly because I know you don't know too much or care too much about Overwatch. But that's the other thing that I've been playing a whole lot of recently. I don't know if there's an hour counter in the Blizzard, whatever they call it.
The Battle Network.
Battle Network, that's what it is. It's pretty high, but I noticed my characters that I play are all characters that rely not a whole lot on aim, which is fantastic. Because I'm really crappy at aiming anyways, but I play Reinhardt, who's got a giant hammer. I play Lucio, who if you just exist, you're helping the team because you've got area of effect heals and stuff. I play Torbjorn, who's got a turret who shoots things for him. And Soldier 76, whose ultimate ability is just an auto aimbot. And I just thought that funny. Those were the 4 most played heroes. And I was just like, yes, none of them require aim. I am so good at this game.
Lol.
And the other good thing about that is that a lot of times people will get mad at you for picking certain heroes. They'll be like, oh, your main is trash, change to a different hero. I take pride in the fact that nobody is ever going to tell me that my main is trash because my 2 most played by far are Reinhardt and Soldier 76, and they're all-arounders, and they're always welcome on every team ever. So nobody's going to tell me that my main is trash.
That's cool.
Anyway, so moving on from Overwatch, what have you been playing?
So many games, that guy. I'm sure you see me playing them.
Yeah, there's a lot
of
titles that I see that you're playing on Steam, and I was just like, what is this? What is this? What is that?
So the first game, I'm just looking right here, Mark of the Ninja. This game is incredible. Don't know where it came from, like most of these games in my Steam library. Tangent, and this is an important one. I'm going through my Steam library looking for Jazz Punk. I don't know if you remember that game, but it's like some weird spy drug trippy game, whatever. But I bought it a long time ago and I never played it and I decided to play it. But I'm looking through it and I was definitely going through my Steam library like a day ago. And I was like, there are like 20 games on here that I did not have yesterday. Where are these games coming from?
I don't know.
Like, there's just these titles. I'm like, this definitely was not here. Why is this here?
I don't know. That sort of happens to me too, because like I've got some Humble Bundles and stuff like that. I do remember the time when my Steam library did not have a slider for the games, like
Wow.
a I don't know, the scroll wheel thing on the side.
Small radios, big televisions. I got it. Let's see, July 7th. Let's see if I can find something else. I'm trying to find ones that I know aren't part of the Humble Bundle.
Yeah, me too.
From
I
this
just looked
year.
at a few of them and I was just like, oh wait, 12/6/2016, obviously.
Oh, here, Guilty Gear Double X Ascent Core Plus.
That's a mouthful.
It says 12/10/2016, but still, it's like I don't remember getting this game. Gunmetal Arcadia Zero, Guacamelee Gold Edition, and Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. Like those definitely weren't what I'm just.
You're just baffled as to where
from.
they came from, and they just sit there grayed out on your library screen, and you feel a little bit guilty, and then you're just like, nah, they probably suck.
Well, Guacamelee is supposedly really good, but so Mark of the Ninja is by our good friends Clay. And
right, they're the people who made Don't Starve, among other games.
Yep, that we're not actually friends with them, but we really enjoyed Don't Starve. So
just had to make sure that everybody knows that these two random people don't actually really know Clay. But
so what Mark of the Ninja is, it's a side-scrolling ninja game, and it's just so fun. Like there's all these challenges of not setting off alarms that you can go through the game without killing most people. There's a couple points where you have to. The DLC adds even more like options to the not killing path. And you get these like crazy powers because you're a ninja with a tattoo that's magic. And the story's great and the cutscenes are great. The game's got like an average of like a 9.5 out of 10 on like all major reviews.
Nice.
It is fantastic. I highly recommend it, and I go back to it quite occasionally to try and 100% it and then go through the New Game Plus, which I haven't even touched, but you know, I have these other games I've been playing. For example, like Psychonauts. This game originally came out many, many years ago. This was before PC was really, you know, good.
I think I have Psychonauts too.
I don't even know where I got it from.
I got it from the Humble Bundle, 12/1/2016.
Oh, must be from that. You play as this kid Raz, and it's very. It was out during like I believe like early Xbox, PlayStation/PlayStation 2 era. I think it was PlayStation 2 more. Okay. And so
early 2000s.
The main part. So you go. So it's like level based, but like very openly level based. It's just trying to figure out how to describe this game because it's definitely more of an experience kind of game but at the same time it's a really good game. So you're playing as a kid who snuck into a camp for psychics, and you're there to train up and improve your psychic powers. And so you have like this campground, which is like a mini open world area where you can go around and collect things and talk to the different campers and meet all the cool characters. And then there's the levels where you go inside people's minds and you like explore them and try to get to the end. But they have like puzzles that you solve with your psychic powers and things to collect and find. And
so it's more of an exploration and type puzzle game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a platformer, I guess you could say, because there's quite a few platforming bits.
And it is in a 3D environment, it looks like from the screenshots. Yeah, I see now. Release date 2005.
It's incredible. Like, I really love it. I'm assuming it's a cult game, because by the recent news, it looks like they got a crowdfunding pledge of $3.35 million to make Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
On July 7th, 2016, so a year ago.
I feel like that's a lot of money for a cult following game.
Yeah, but I mean, we know a guy who would make that much probably if he asked for it.
We do?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
Oh, well, yeah, but I feel like that's a completely different subject. Don't get started on Bruce Campbell. We're not going to stop. He's a movie guy. This is a video game. And the game doesn't have a chin.
True.
That's like a big selling point for Bruce Campbell.
Agent 9 has a chin.
Is that a character?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a picture and I'll send it to you. It's not going to help this podcast at all, but Let's see.
Look up Agent 9 Psychonauts.
Nine.
I've got the internet, that guy. I can do that.
Hold on, I got to make sure. First off, it's 9 as in the German no 9, not the number 9.
Google will understand.
Yeah, see, his face is like solid chin there.
That is true. He's just got a very square face. You got to respect him, man. Like, you know, I'm really bad. I like doodling and drawing stuff. I'm really bad at drawing people, and all the people that I draw end up having that type of chin. Very square. You may have noticed in our I don't know, it's not really a D&D session, it's more of just an RPG session. My character, Glenn Lewis, he had the big square chin. Because I can't draw anybody who doesn't have a square chin, apparently.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that is very true. Just thinking about all your past drawings of characters.
Not good at drawing humans, dude. Not doesn't happen.
I'm not good at drawing in general, so
I'm not too good either, but humans are definitely pretty crap in my book. So we can move past just video games and talk about some other types of media or any other like forms of entertainment. Like, for instance, is there a standout song in the last week or two that has like hit you and been like, oh yeah, I like this song. I'm really into this song right now. Because people have those phases.
Sorry, I'm just going down this list of pictures of Agent 9, and there's just a random Hitler.
Of course there is. It's the internet, that guy. There's always gonna be a random Hitler. Tangent from that. You know how you Google something in Google Images, just the most basic of things, and there's just the random thing that you weren't expecting, like the random Hitler there. For my Fallout song that I made a while ago, before getting my own screenshot for the thumbnail, I wanted to Google image search Edward Deegan, the ghoul who works for Jack Cabot.
Yep.
I wanted to use him. Don't Google search Edward Deegan.
Well.
It's just a bunch of Edward Deegan and Jack Cabot doing questionable things.
Well, let's see. Edward.
Don't do it.
Deegan.
And that is the moment that I decided I'm going to get my own screenshot.
Oh, well, while we wait for my iPad to load, you had questions for me.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to answer them.
Sorry.
Music.
Song that has been like your go-to song. Do you have a song like that has happened to for the last week or so that's like hit you and you're like, oh, I like this song. I want to listen to it a lot. It's like, for me, for example, it has been REO Speedwagon, Time for Me to Fly. I like that song right now. In the past, I've had lots of different songs that you've just been like obsessed with for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, but that's the song right now that I can't get out of my head.
I made all these CDs back when driving to Hudson Valley and so forth, because that's kind of a drive.
Yeah.
So I made all these CDs to listen to, and I was re-listening to them and be like, oh, these are good songs. Like, I have an entire one that's like my top 20 favorite epic rap battles of history songs. Before this season came out, this most recent season of epic rap battles of history I thought was pretty trash, except for like one, maybe two raps. The one I'm thinking of off the top of my head was Theodore Roosevelt versus Winston Churchill.
Do you have a favorite rap battle of history, like hands down favorite?
Deadpool versus Boba Fett.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that one, to be honest. I probably should. My favorite one is Elvis Presley versus Michael Jackson. I don't know. I liked that one.
See, my problem with that one is I just didn't think the background music went with Elvis's singing.
Yeah.
Like, I like the rap. I like the raps themselves, like the lines, but I feel like the music didn't go good with. It might have been the other way around. I can't even remember. Now I gotta go find it and tell you my exact opinion, because now if I don't, my brain will just explode out of my ears, and everyone's gonna be like, "Ew, that's gross. Why would you let that happen?"
You know what's gross? Something died on my front lawn sometime during the winter, and then all the snow melted, and it was just like fur and skin left. I couldn't even tell what it was, and I had to shovel it out of the way because I mowed the lawn today. Nothing to do with anything. But yeah, I like the Elvis and Michael Jackson one because of the way that they each have two verses, but it's two versions of each character. It's young Michael Jackson and older Michael Jackson, and early Elvis and fat guy later Elvis.
Yeah, I'm listening to it, and it's definitely, I feel like the way Elvis sings just doesn't go with the music. It's too poppy with his rock and roll kind of style. Like, I know they were trying to go for like a mix between the two of them, but it just doesn't fit him that well, and I don't like the way it sounds.
He's not the Prince of Pop. He's the King of Jelly Rolls.
That is true. I don't think there's really been a song I've been listening to. I just listen to what I want.
I do know that you have in the past put on like Facebook or something, be like, oh, I'm going on a road trip or whatever, like when you went to New York Comic Con.
Yep.
And you ask for song suggestions or whatever. So I wasn't sure if there was anything that like really hit you and you're just like, oh, I never would have listened to this otherwise, but somebody suggested it and it's actually a really good song.
I mean, to be honest, the only song that really I kept from that entire list I got from people was Cartoon Heroes, which the one you suggested.
Nice.
I think Mike suggested a couple that I kept, but that's the only one I know off the top of my head that I liked enough. I'm like, this is a good song I keep.
That is a great song, I will admit. Yeah, Mike listens to a lot of stuff. He likes soundtracks.
I know which song I've been listening to a lot. And again, this is one that you recommended, you person. I was going to call you a mean name, but I'm trying to keep it clean. The Mr. Meeseeks song.
Oh yeah, the Scratch Attack Mr. Meeseeks.
That song I bought from freaking Bandcamp and listened to on repeat quite a bit.
Yes! Oh, that's such a great and annoying song at the same time.
It is. Well, I don't think it's annoying. I just like it.
Well, I mean, after a while, Mr. Meeseeks can get a little bit annoying, but...
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me!
Exactly. I mean, you can only take so much Justin Roiland.
Although that's not true at all.
Well, that voice, that specific voice of Justin Roiland. Like from Gravity Falls, Blendin' Blandin'.
Yep.
When he gets so mad, he's like, I'm so mad, I'm not gonna stop stammering until you finish this. I. And it goes on for like 10 seconds. So, other types of entertainment, we've got games, we've got music, there's movies too. So there's an upcoming movie is it coming out tomorrow actually? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yep. Relative to us, it's coming out tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I mean, relative to when this gets posted. We're recording this on May the 4th be with you. It's technically Star Wars Day. I forgot about that. But yeah, upcoming movies. Besides Guardians of the Galaxy, are there any 2017 movies that you're like looking forward to, like summer flicks that they've been advertising or anything like that?
I'm hoping the new Spider-Man movie is going to be good.
Okay.
Thor Ragnarok's coming out around my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be pretty awesome.
Well, you can't... I'm not going to say it's impossible to go wrong with a Marvel movie, but they're probably going to deliver.
Yeah.
On those.
Well, that's the problem with Spider-Man is because, let's go way back in time. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man first. The first film was just cool because the last Spider-Man film didn't come out until 1985, I think. So it was like it was like really the beginning of like the Marvel superhero era. Right. So it was really cool. Then there was Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2 was good. Spider-Man 3 is like one of the worst movies ever made. Like right after like the most... It's the second worst because the newest Fantastic Four movie was even worse than that.
The only redeeming factor of Spider-Man 3 is that it had a Bruce Campbell cameo in it.
To be honest, it looked amazing. The whole black suit Venom thing was really cool looking, but it was just really bad.
The writing. You can have cool looking stuff, but if you don't have a good story.
Here's the thing, right? So Sam Raimi directed those 3 movies.
Right.
First off, the biggest problem with all the Spider-Man films was it was more on the bad side of being Spider-Man. Peter was always like kind of depressed and didn't know what to do with his life and everything.
He's an angsty teen.
No, he wasn't even a teen. Like, he freaking graduated high school at the beginning of the first movie.
Oh, okay. Well, then he's just entering adulthood, and I don't have to tell you how much that sucks.
The first 2 movies, like I said, were pretty good. Sam Raimi directed them. And then I guess what happened, from what I heard, is with the third movie, the script came out, and Sam was contracted to do 6 movies. And the third script, he was supposed to have creator input on it. And he's like, this script is terrible, guys. You need to fix it. And they're like, nope, we're keeping it exactly as it is. And then so what Sam did is he directed it to be even worse than what the script was.
Just as like a retort.
That, and it also got him out of his contract because they're like, yeah, you're not working on these other we're not doing any more Spider-Man movies.
That sucks, man.
It does suck because if the third movie was good, do you know who was going to be the villain in the fourth movie?
No, who?
It was going to be Mysterio.
Oh, okay.
And do you know who's going to play him?
No.
That guy, there's one person in this universe that you should be guessing, and you'd be right.
Bruce Campbell.
Yes. There's actually like concept art of the police taking an unmasked Mysterio with the face of the Chin himself being dragged away.
And think about it, then Bruce Campbell would be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because if they had kept making movies... Well, actually, no, Spider-Man was owned by a different company at that point, wasn't he?
I think Spider-Man was owned by Marvel at that point.
So after the third flop, they sold him?
Yeah.
Oh, so if it was legit... Man, Bruce Campbell could have been in the
Avengers. Bruce Campbell was technically in the Marvel Universe, though.
Well, yeah, but as cameo random appearances. I'm talking about a recurring character.
That's what happened with the Tobey Maguire. Now let's move on to Andrew Garfield, who did the Amazing Spider-Man series owned by Sony.
And how many of those were there? 2 or 3?
2.
2. Okay.
So what happened was both movies came out and honestly did kind of bad for just coming straight out in the theaters. They were one of those movies that got picked up after, like when they came out on DVD. People were like, oh, this movie's actually pretty good, because Andrew Garfield was much more of the happy-go-lucky, joking kind of Spider-Man that we all know and love.
Yeah, like the comic-y type.
The problem, though, was when the owner of Sony or whatever, the head of Sony, he was going to announce that they were going to be making a Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3, because I guess they always end up doing well enough from the DVD sales or whatever,
right,
to keep making them. Andrew Garfield, stiffed the guy and didn't go to the meeting that he was supposed to go to.
Oh, no.
He's just like, this guy sucks as a person, basically. I'm not going. And so they ended up dropping that whole Spider-Man thing.
Huh.
So now we're on to Tom Holland now.
Our third Spider-Man actor in 10 years.
Well, 20 years.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the last... When did the Spider-Man 3 come out?
Probably 2005, 2006.
Yeah, probably.
If I had to guess. So not, a little more than 10 years. You're right. 15 years, we'll say.
So Tom Holland over here, he shows up. And so far, we saw him in Civil War. And he was pretty awesome in that. But we won't really know until this new movie comes out, which I think it's going to be good. But there's still issues I have with it. For example, from what I can tell in the trailer, it looks like they made Harry Osborn like a fat Hispanic kid.
What?
Yeah. And I definitely know this, they made MJ a black girl. And you may think, that's racist. Well, here's the thing. They just put a race onto someone who didn't have a race, but was normally just white. They felt like it was necessary to put that in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine, but still, it's just kind of annoying that companies feel like they have to do that.
Yeah, it's like the early 2000s and 90s commercials for products. They always have to have the kid with the wheelchair. And it's like I understand that you're trying to be inclusive here, but I don't know anybody.
But it can't use a skateboard.
Exactly.
It cannot use the ripstick.
Don't have a kid in a wheelchair for a razor commercial, okay? I know 2 people in wheelchairs.
I know none in wheelchairs, so.
Well, both of the people I know are middle-aged and older ladies. I don't think they're going for the razor scooters either. But yeah, I mean, it's the entire reason is because it's 2017 now, and everybody's like, "Ugh." That's the whole issue. A couple of nights ago around the dinner table, I don't know how it even got brought up, probably because food. The whole issue with Paula Deen, that she said some racial slur, and that was a couple of years ago, and that blew over, but that was a big thing at the time. And my dad was like, why is that, people get so bent out of shape about something like that, but not if somebody, I forget, what is it, Martha Stewart? Who ended up stealing money and going to jail. And that wasn't treated as big of a deal as Paula Deen.
Exactly.
She didn't even steal anything. It's people, I don't know when it started, because I didn't really start paying attention to politics and economics and socialness until
all that gross stuff.
Yeah, until 2011.
Until like last night when I read an article while playing Overwatch. I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah,
I
no.
think somebody died.
Well, like for the first 16 years of my life, I didn't care about that stuff. I didn't hear about that stuff. Who cares? But it makes me wonder, like, now that ever since I turned 16 and, these last however many years, I don't know, how old am I?
You're that old.
Exactly, with a
With the
lowercase o.
O.
Why did all this become such a big deal? Like, who freaking cares? But apparently the world cares now, and that's just something that you're gonna have to deal with. And as much as the world cares, the internet cares even more.
Yep.
So I've learned to deal with people like that, obviously. But how did I get on that topic? Started out with Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then, well, it's because Spider-Man turned it into a racist thing.
Right, of course. Well, yeah, and the very first, I'm looking at my notes here, the very first question that prompted it was upcoming movies that you're excited for, and you said the new Spider-Man one. And then for me, besides Guardians of the Galaxy, Cars 3 is coming out in the summer. Not a lot of people have hope for it because they didn't like Cars 2. I thought Cars 2 was baller. I thought Cars 1 was baller, but nobody likes that movie either. But so I'm hoping.
Cars 1. Cars 2, I watched once. I'll probably watch it again at some point in my life, but
you don't understand, man. Cars 1 was my life in 2007 and 2008. It came out 06. I got it for Christmas from my grandpa in 06. And the next 2 years, I mean, I still got car stuff all over my room. I got like 4 posters that I can see, like just sitting in my room. And I've got I think 250 die-cast models downstairs in storage that I collected for years. They're not going to be worth anything because I opened them all and played with them.
And also, nobody cares about cars.
That's the other thing. But if they weren't,
they actually might be worth more that you took them out and played with them. You're like, look, somebody actually cared.
I'll bring them to a place eventually, 20 years down the road, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, there's the McQueen with his tongue sticking out that was in the movie for like 3 seconds, and they made a model diecast car about it. And I'm like, yeah, they sure did. I don't know why they did, but they did.
Money. Somebody spent, it might not have been you directly, but you spent money.
You're right.
On that figure.
As soon as you said that, you're just like, yeah, exactly. Just money. I probably bought at least half of them with my own money, and the rest of them were bought by my mom or by my friends for like presents or whatever else like that. But yeah, they got a lot of money from me. Probably more than Gabe Newell extracted from TF2.
Maybe.
I haven't spent as much on TF2 as you might think. I think I've spent like $500. But that sounds horrible. But that's since 2012.
$500 on a free game.
Yeah, but my soldier looks baller. So
I think I spent like $30 altogether on TF2, but
you bought Batman stuff.
I bought Batman stuff, and I bought the Manrobics taunt, which I still use to this day. And by this day, I mean the last time I played TF2, and the next time I play TF2, I'll still be using it.
Well, of course. I mean, the only things that I've spent like money on, the most thing that I've spent money on is probably Man vs. Machine tickets. I got like 60 tours on that, and that's 4 tickets per tour and 99 cents per ticket. So that's a lot of money right there. And I haven't received any Australium gold weapons. I've just received a lot of professional killstreak kits, and most of the professional killstreak kits that I get are for garbage weapons.
Dang.
So I'm not really making money back on that, but that's okay. I haven't played MVM in a month or two, so we're good. Do you have any other random topics to talk about? Because I have one more.
No, not really.
I'm sure you listen to podcasts, right?
There's one podcast I listen to.
And it's the Triforce.
Yeah. There's technically, I also listen to another podcast called Hypothetical Help, but they haven't made an episode in over 7 months. And I mean, they said why. Like the last episode, they said they're taking a break.
Huh.
And they're going to take a break for a bit, but I don't know why. It's been too long, and I wanted to come back.
Well,
but yeah, those are the 2 podcasts I listen to.
So you listen to podcasts just while doing mundane things like driving or mowing the lawn. That's what I do anyways. But there's not always a new episode that you can listen to when you got to do stuff. So I've taken to listening to comedy routines by comedians and other guys, obviously comedy routines by comedians. Um, are there any comedians that you follow or enjoy listening to? Maybe not follow, but like if somebody mentioned the name, you'd be like, oh yeah, I liked this guy's routine.
Jim Gaffigan, he's a fantastic comedian. And who was the other guy? Bob Marley, not the dead black singer. He's like a white, skinny Boston guy. He is hilarious. You got to look up his stuff. I took my dad to see him at a comedy club
Nice.
A couple months ago. And the problem, the worst part about the whole thing, right, is the comedy club was also a restaurant. So it was like trying to eat while laughing your ass off.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
How many people choked and died?
Luckily, the way it worked is they got, like, because of when they got you in, they're like, they get you in, they want you there like half an hour. So they get you in, they get your drinks, they get your food, and then they bring it up when the warm-up guy, they bring your food out when the warm-up guy comes out.
Huh.
And, so the warm-up guy tells milder, he's funny, but he only tells milder jokes usually.
Yeah.
Get you warmed up. So it was pretty easy to eat while he was telling his jokes. And then usually by that time, unless if you're getting dessert, by the time the main guy comes out, you're just having your drinks and laughing with him.
Nice.
But it was still a slight problem. I also had a very similar problem when I went to go see a movie at one of those movie restaurant places. I don't know if you've ever been there. We used to have one in Albany, I think it was.
I don't. It doesn't ring any bells.
It changed hand. Well, it closed when I was like 12, but it changed hands, like owners, like 3 times, because it would like spike in popularity and then drop horribly. But in memory's sake, I saw one movie there, and it was another fantastic movie by the same people that brought you Cars, Finding Nemo.
Ah.
And the first time you're watching it and you're eating food, and Dory starts speaking whale.
Nice.
Bad things happen.
Bad things happen. You know that food that I just ate looks a little bit different now, and it's all over your face. In terms of comedians that I'd listen to, I like listening to Brian Regan. He's got a lot of funny stuff, but I think that's just because he does silly voices. But then another guy, I enjoy listening to comedians who also include music in their comedy.
Yep.
Like this guy that I found called Haywood Banks. A lot of his comedy routine is just silly little songs that he writes. And I think some of the best ones are, the one that he's probably most well known for is just called Toast, where he takes a toaster and he starts like banging on it with a fork and a knife. And that's like his instrument while he sings about toast. And the second one that I really like is called Underdo It, where he's just sitting back on his couch, playing his guitar really lazily, singing a song about underachieving everything and just being lazy. So he's really funny, and if he was closer to where we live, I'd totally go see him. I think he does most stuff in the Midwest. I think he lives in Ohio or something.
There's one other guy I just remembered, Dimitri Martin. I would say he's probably my most favorite comedian, or at least was. So I saw a couple of his things on Comedy Central, really funny. And like many popular comedians, he did a TV show, but most comedians, their TV shows are kind of horrible. His, though, was amazing. Like, he actually did, his show was incredible. He did like actual like stand-up joke. It was kind of like just a show he had control over. So like he'd do jokes, and then he had all these sketches that he wrote, and they were like hilarious. They were actually really good sketches. And then he did some more jokes, and then at the end he plays guitar and sings songs and stuff. So he did that. So his show was good. Like, he actually got good ratings. People liked it. But he stopped doing it to go on tour. And then when his tour ended, he never picked it back up and just kind of dropped off the face of the map.
Oh, bummer.
Like, I haven't heard of him. I haven't heard from him. I think the last time I heard about him was maybe a year and a half ago when he was at the Egg.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you don't know what that is, it's in my fridge. There's a crate of these round white things that chickens lay, and you crack them open and you eat. No, There's a building in Albany, the capital
concert.
of New York.
It's like a
where
concert hall.
Concerts happen.
That guy.
What?
I'm super sorry to do this, but I've had to pee for like 45 minutes and I think I'm going to die, so hang on. I'm seriously going to die. Hang on.
And now an improv song about that guy. That guy is one of a kind. That guy is one of a guys. He does things that nobody likes, like going to pee during a podcast recording. He went off to pee, and who knows when he will be back, but that's okay, 'cause I'm filling this space with a glorious song about that guy. That guy plays TF2. He plays other games too, but I just remembered that one 'cause he's got so many freaking hours in it. I'm looking at my desktop and I see Dead Rising 2. So many things end in 2. And that guy is back. I just heard him come here. He may not even hear me 'cause his headphones aren't on.
Yes, they are. I knew you were going to be talking about me and how stupid and ugly I am. Oh my god, I feel so much better. The world is my oyster. I can do anything.
You're gonna love that improv song.
Oh, sweet. Is it going to go straight to platinum?
No, it's gonna go straight into the toilet. It's gonna go straight to porcelain.
All right, you were talking about The Egg and a comedian whose name is Dimitri
Martin. I highly recommend looking up his show. I believe it's time for us to wrap up this rambly ass podcast. I think there's a way we wrap this up. It goes a little something like this. I'm that guy.
And I'm that guy.
Also known as Joe Thunder.
And SOENJAY.
And you've been listening to That Cast.
Bye, have a great time.